The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Finding life along the way, melodies we haven't played. No, I don't want no rest. Echoing around these walls, fighting to create a song. I don't wanna miss a beat. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a circuit that demands absolute precision, bravery, and just a little bit of luck. Tonight I'm your host, Sagar Bakshi. It is green, green, green here at the Miami Autodromo Internazionale. Side by side, there goes Sean Stam, the Stam Man, and the 000 as well. Papa Green made up 3 positions in 2 laps. With Leslie Simpkins now throws his elbows out at Druid. Tonight, under the sun of one of motorsport's most legendary battlegrounds, Sausage Dodgers Racing rolls into Silverstone for a special endurance event with pride, prize money, and bragging rights, all on the line. For 90 minutes, this grid will be pushed to the absolute limit around the home of British motorsport. A circuit that's famous for its high-speed commitment, technical rhythm, and unforgiving corners like Maggots, Beckett's, Chapel, Stowe, and Cops that have all claimed drivers. This is not just about raw pace, it's about discipline, patience, strategy, survival. With limited fuel loads, drivers will need to think carefully about pit timing, fuel range. With only 2 sets of tires, every slide, lockout, and aggressive defense could come back to haunt them later in the race. Only the fastest driver may not be the last one standing tallest at the end. It could be the smartest, the cleanest, or the one who knows exactly when to attack and how. The prize pool raises the stakes. The endurance format raises the pressure. And Silverstone well, always demands perfection. This is Sausage Dodgers Racing. This is Silverstone. This is 90 minutes of strategy, speed, and special event chaos, starting right now. Thank you for joining us, folks. Thank you very much for staying tuned. It's a pleasure to take you from green to checkered flag tonight. On behalf of the Sausage Dodgers, I'm your host, Sagar Bakshi, bringing you all the cameras and production behind the booth. Here at the Silverstone Circuit, track length of 5.8 kilometers, pit road speed limit of 60 kilometers per hour, 18 corners, 8 to the left, 10 to the right in total. With only 30 feet of elevation change, it's not much for the drivers to have to contend with tonight. Track that was founded in 1948. It's been the current layout since 2020. Not much has changed since then. Looking at the track conditions, it is partly cloudy skies here in Silverstone. Might expect a little bit of rain even based on the cloud coverage. We'll have to take a look at the radar as the race goes on. Air temperature, nice calm 20 degrees Celsius, but the track temperature a hot 39 degrees Celsius. Wind coming in at 12 kilometers per hour, and the surface right now, well, that's dry. Event format, as we discussed, we'll have unlimited tire sets available. Fast repairs were limited to 2. Local cautions only, so don't expect a competition caution or anything of the sort. Fuel limit is limited to 50%, so expect the drivers to come in for at least 1 pit stop. Keys to the race tonight consist of a few 4 key strategies. Tire management over 1 lap speed. With only 2 sets of tires for the 90-minute race, drivers can't afford to burn everything up early on in their stint. Silverstone's fast corners are going to put huge stress on the tires, especially through Maggots, Beckett's, and Chapel. The drivers who keep the car underneath them early will be much stronger when the race reaches its final third of the race. Of course, we have to talk about fuel strategy because at 50% fuel, this race becomes a puzzle at 200 miles an hour. Drivers need to hit their fuel numbers, avoid extra stops, and time the pit window perfectly. Clean in-lap, clean pit entry, and no wasted seconds on pit road could be the difference between fighting for the win and falling out of contention. Key number 3, survive the first 5 minutes. Well, Silverstone may be fast and it may be wide, but it's also tempting. The opening laps can punish impatience. Cold tires, heavy fuel, and packed field can create danger zones in DeVillage, Brooklands, Copse, and Stowe. The prize pool may be won at the end, but it can be lost in the first few corners or the first few seconds of this race. For clean traffic overtakes, expect to see some. Will likely face traffic, strategy offsets, and the like. Cars on different tires life. Silverstone will offer passing chances into Brooklyn, Stowe, and Vale, but forcing the issue can cost more than it gains you. The best drivers will know when to pressure, when to wait, and when to strike. 90 minutes, half fuel, 2 sets of tires, 1 prize pool. Around Silverstone, patience will win, but courage will win trophies. Taking a look at the drivers in the qualifying session up to this point right now, it is Felix Kotiak topping the charts, but it's Noah Osbaldeston right behind, 27 thousandths being the difference there. Osbaldeston on an outlap by the looks of it. Let's see what they can produce here and now. Coming out of Chapel, down the hanger straight in towards Stowe goes Osbaldeston, the Nova Motors eSports pilot. Number 24 driving the Mercedes AMG today. That margin between Osbadelston right now and Felix Kotiak is just so slim. Let's see what Osbadelston can do for Nova Motors Esports right now. He's trying to challenge Ford. Can he do anything on the run? He's on an outlap right now, so we'll keep an eye on him for the evening. Felix Kotiak still driving out there on the racetrack. Might be able to produce something a little bit more. Tim from Sausage Dodgers Racing saying hello from sunny Cyprus. Hope you all have a great race. And he's saying, let's see all the sausages out here tonight. Well, absolutely, my friend. We will do that. We'll see all the sausages in just a few moments. I want to keep my eye here on Osbadelston. Oleg Karmanov, though, running in P7, the number 64 Porsche driver. We have a lot of new people out here tonight joining the sausages. Andy Hudson being one of them, partying with the 217 right now, perhaps giving a little draft there to Felix Kotiak, coming down in towards club. Mr. Lloyd Butler himself running in P16, caught up with the fierce competition. Noah Osbadelston right now still charging through the field, looking at Lloyd Butler. Let's try to find Mr. Richard Beaton in that number 20 Porsche, finding his way through the twisty bits of Maggots Beckett's Chapel Curve. Matthew Clark running the number 50, a big Sausage Dodgers supporter, always running with the Dodgers. Glad to see him on track as well. Take a look at Benedetto Del Vezzo, the number 16 Ferrari pilot, the Italian man. Well, he's got a British flag next to his name, but we all know he's an Italian man at heart. With a name like Benedetto Del Vezzo, how could you deny it? Mr. Jack McCarthy sitting in pit lane, currently running in P20. Over to Paul Sims, the number 42 driver, sitting in 13th place. Only 6 minutes left to go in the qualifying heat. Can anybody get something done to challenge for pole position? Here comes the 68 around Woodcott. Thomas Wright's last lap being a 2-minute 5.81. Not able to produce anything better than that. His first lap was a 2-minute 1:07. That first flyer stuck like glue. Another driver up here from the Pitskill crew, the 157 of Jack McQuone, comfortably in third position by nearly a tenth of a second, so not too shabby of a place to be. Any improvements to be found by McQuone? Not on that run. 2-minute 2:09 last time by. Check in with Osbaldeston again. You can see his teammate of Louis Butler giving him a little bit of help. Nothing wrong with that as Louis Butler dives out of the way from Osbaldeston, gives him a little bit of that toe that he desperately needs. We saw a little bit of teamwork happening for the others. Osbaldeston comes down pit road. He abandons that lap. I don't think, or I'm not sure if he'll be able to get another one. 3 minutes left on the clock. Osbaldeston parks it in the pit lane. Christian Campringer, number 46. It's the Valentino Rossi number, driving the Moomobile. In 12th position currently. Felix Kotiak back out on track. Osbaldeston, though, doesn't seem to be responding. Let's see if Camper can do anything. 159.463 that last time by. Bumps him up to 4th place, brings back Butler to 5th. And that'll be it for the 46 on that one. Thank you, everybody, again for being here. Thank you very much for joining us. Please remember to like, subscribe, ring the bell. Helps out the analytics and support the Sausage Dodgers community continue to grow. As we get into the final minute of the session, I want to give a shout out and thanks to everybody in our Patreon as well. Guys, literally keep the lights on here for Sausage Dodgers Racing. If you'd like to support the Sausage Dodgers community, if you'd like to keep the lights on here, you can go ahead and donate via that QR code on the screen. It goes straight to the PayPal, and all the donations literally go to keeping the servers up, go to prizes for the community, and supporting the stream. Thank you so much for your guys' continued support, whether you're a tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, or just plastered on the meat wall. We appreciate all your love and support. It goes a long way to keeping us going and attracting sponsors. Thank you so much for your continued support, everybody. With that being said, though, looks like we're headed to the final few of the session. 30 seconds left on the clock. And it seems like that'll be it for most of the field. Couple of drivers trickling in to finish out with our last, but the top 3 still locked in. Butler finds P3 somehow, some way here at Silverstone in the final few minutes. Got over McQuone and Campringer at the end of the day. Checkered flag is out for the session, and that'll conclude the running for most of the field. If you like what you see, folks, and you want to get involved with more SDR action, we have plenty more coming up on the horizon. Make sure you check out our Porsche Cup Season 3 coming up, sponsored by Barm Engines. That one's coming up quick, fast, in a hurry. Make sure you scan that QR code in the bottom right-hand side of your screen. It'll take you over to our sim grid for that. We also have our GT3 League coming up. Also, Season 1 of the GT3 League kicks off in just about a week's time. So get there quick, fast, in a hurry to get locked in. And tonight is our special event, obviously. We got to give a big shout out and thanks to the Sausage Dodgers community for doing everything tonight, for giving us all of the prizes, for supporting the community, for giving us everything tonight. Thank you so much to the Sausage Dodgers racing community for putting this on. And thank you very much to all the drivers who've showed up and showed out for this wonderful evening. As we wait for the results to become solidified, we wait with anticipation to find out who officially took that pole position and who's going to challenge for P2 at the end of the evening. Get ready for the drivers to get gridded up, folks. The results are in. Felix Kotiak took pole position in front of Noah Osbadelsson by 28 thousandths of a second. Lewis Butler came home in third for qualifying. Jack McClone in fourth. Christian Kemperger in fifth. Andy Hudson's Engine Domez in seventh. Oleg Karmanov in 8th, Mark Kristen in 9th, Andreas Carlson in 10th, Thomas Wright, Bjorn King, Matthew Clark, Paul Sims, James Piper, Lloyd Butler, Marco Henderson, Richard Beaton, Simon Darch, Will Ewart, and Jack McCarthy, Benedetto De Vezzo, Oscar Corbett, and Sam Marshall, rounding out the 24 in the lobby today. Take a look at our starting grid. Kotiak alongside Noah Osbadelsson. Then we have Lewis Butler and Jack McClone. Following that, Christian Carpenter and Andy Hudson. Engine Domez and Oleg Kamarov. Mark Christian and Andreas Carlson, Thomas Ryan, Bjorn King, running out row number 6. Row number 7 going to Matthew Clark and Paul Sims. Row number 8 belongs to James Piper and Lloyd Butler. Marco Henderson and Richard Beaton in the number 20. Simon Darch and Will Ewart rounding out row number 10. Further back, we have Jack McCarthy and Benedetto De Vezzo. Oscar Corbett and Sam Marshall. The 998 driving the Audi. And Azuka Manel and Lewis Fitchner on row 13. And that'll be it for our grid tonight, folks. Let's get ready to go racing, folks. Let's get ready to go racing here. Felix Kotiak, Noah Osbadelston along that first row. What can the Nova Motors esports team do? And there it is, took off like a rocket ship. Felix Kotiak left the Nova Motors esports team sleeping at the wheel right now. It's a big gap. Let's take a look further back. It's going to be the Moon Machines trying to make it clean and green through the first turn, and they all managed to do so. Up ahead, the McLaren trying to find a way through. That's Thomas Wright battling with Mark Christian right now. The head-to-head battle looking pretty fierce as we go side by side, 2 by 2. The battle for the lead goes 3 wide, and Butler backs out. Osmond Nelson forces the Moon Machine off of Felix Kotiak, and he loses the lead here and now. What can the Nova Motors esports team do? Laying on the brakes. The Lewis Butler goes for a move, bumps Felix in the rear end, and it's a gaggle of Moon Machines, but it's also the Nova Motors esports team trying to challenge for position as well. Taking a look at the green flag run, it's all still green and clean for now. The Moon Machines further back. Christian Gamberger and Andy Hudson go toe-to-toe, wheel-to-wheel, but I think they back out of it just for a moment. It's getting fierce here in the first 5 opening minutes, and we're not even through 1 lap yet. Holy Toledo, folks. Benedetto De Vezzo caught in a bit of an incident now, falls further back from the rest of the pack up ahead. We know this race is about momentum. We know this race is about consistency overall. Who's going to come out on top at the end of the evening is the question. Mark Christian trying to find a way through, further through the field on Thomas Wright. Can he find a way by? There's the 77 trying to get through as well. The Aston Martin looks to the outside line around the McLaren, does find the daylight and parks it on the apex in front of the 68, who's caught sleeping at the wheel. Thomas Wright losing 2 positions there, but is still up 2 on the good of things. Drivers finally settling down a little bit. He's right on board with Wright as he looks to the inside of the 77, but no doing here on the attack. Coming down in towards Brooklands, Luffield, Woodcott. Very good place to attack, but we're still in the opening stages of this race. No need to go for anything risky early on in your run. Lewis Butler losing a couple of positions right now. Let's check in here what's going on with Louis Butler as he battles it out with Jack McCone behind. On the gearbox here with Louis Butler, looking at Jack McCone behind, who's seemingly thinking that Louis Butler might be a cork in the bottle right now. Listening to a little bit of the strategy call earlier on in the race. McClone loses a few spots there. What's happened to McCall? Did he get a slowdown penalty? Christian Campringer getting a chance to attack. You can hear Butler clatter the curbs. Look at all the times trickling in. These packs are so close to each other. Take a look at the gap. 13 seconds back, 14 seconds back to Oscar Corbett in that Audi, coveted Audi that every driver is trying to get by or stay in front of. Checking in here with the number 64, Oleg Karmanov. Whoa. Karmanov, James Piper locked in arms right now. The 999. Can he defend back Oleg Karmanov? He's chucking it in everywhere you look, trying to find the daylight past Piper. Piper potentially having a run now on Clark even. No, he doesn't. He has to defend back. Oleg Karmanov looking for an opportunity. Piper spending a lot of time defending right now when he can be just running his own line. I think that's what the AMG driver needs to focus on, soul of racing. Checking in with the pack battle here that includes Paul Sims and Andreas Carlson. Andreas Carlson in the middle of the sandwich. Oleg Karmanov right up the road here. On board with Louis Butler. Pushing 200. Little flick of a wrist into cops. No big deal. Maggots and Beckett, same thing. Push 200 kph. Checking in with Felix Kotiak here. Let's see the head-to-head. Felix actually losing a little bit per lap. Now begins to gain 0.3 on that previous lap, and the math keeps adding up to a catch for Felix's sake here in a few. Butler still on the defense. Christian Campringer on the attack. Last 4 laps, Campringer has been able to be on the attack. Butler has been able to defend well, but last lap around, he's lost a considerable amount of time and is definitely acting as a cork in the bottle at this point, unfortunately for him. Both drivers run a little bit wide. Coming out of Cobbs, Maggots, Beckett's, Chapel. Leaders right up the road. The gap continues to come down between Felix Kotiak and Noah Osbaldestin. Drivers further back fan out, looking for clean air. Defensive move. Butler defends again, coming down into Stowe. The 35 acting as a big buffer for his teammate, keeping the entire field behind him. Side by side coming down into Club. It's going to be a little bit hectic. It's going to be a little bit crazy. The 35 loses ground to the 46 up ahead, who's going to garnish the position, but will it be able to stick as we drive over the line? The timing all ticks over and the laps come in. Indicatively so, Butler is the worst of them all right now, as he has been lapping the slowest, but what a send there coming down into Village, and then at the loop, here we go, another switchback engaged. Now it'll be the Moo Machines getting advantage over Lewis Butler, who's in front of the tag machine. Who is that, you might say? Well, that's Jack McQuone, who qualified P4. Looking back here, the 273 challenges the 77, Mark Kristen and Engine Gomez. Gomez side by side, 3 wide is not where you want to be going down into Cops. You never sick wheel up the inside at Cops, says Toto. Switchback for the Aston Martin over to the racing line. I was a little bit late, a little bit sketchy, but we're going to make it work. The 77 falls in line. Mark Christian behind Thomas Wright. All this battling ensuing has brought along the likes of Matthew Clark, who settled into the top 10 right now. McQuone getting advantage over Butler and wheel-to-wheel action. And they go wide coming down in towards Stowe. A little bit hectic, a little bit sketchy. The 157 and the 35 playing fairly right now. All fair in love and war. Whoa! Osbaldestin and Felix Kotiak switch positions. What happened there? Kotiak all over Osbaldestin like white on rice, baby. 217, not content with a second place finish tonight. It's an all AMG lockout for the top 5. McQuone and Butler coming down into comp. Switchback engaged for the 157. Planted it on the apex. Sold the 35, the dummy. Look at this gaggle of cars. Butler, Thomas Wright, Engine Gomez, in the mix as well, dragging along Mark Christian. And there goes wide Thomas Wright in the 68 at Beckett's, excuse me. Clark under attack, or excuse me, attacking now. Mark Christian, 77, done and dusted. Matthew Clark continues to progress up the ladder. It is now 5 on the good. Checking in with a few other drivers throughout the grid. I'm not sure how long I can stay looking at the 404. I'm getting a little dizzy looking at the livery. Sam Marshall running the 404 McLaren right now. You have to go back here to the Clark battle. Clark and Christian continue to battle it out. Matthew Clark, one of those drivers that, like I said earlier, is just a genuine Sausage Dodgers supporter. Shows up and shows out for just about every single event that I can think of. Looking up ahead, Felix Kotiak chases down Osbadelsson, looking for the inside line to threaten anything coming through Beckett's and Chapel. Oh, there was a nasty look from the 217. Turned in so early at Stowe. Again, trying to sell Osbadelsson a dummy and threaten anytime he can to make Osbadelsson lose time by blocking. Battle here includes Piper, Karmanov, Carlson, and Sims. As Piper is leading this pack now. Piper with 4 on the good tonight. Might be down to 3 as the 64 looks the outside line coming into Brooklands. Kotiak continues to chase down Osbadelsson. Cannot keep my eyes off of you, not even for 1 second. Big Simon Darsh here, chasing down Lloyd Butler, one of our beloved Patreon subscribers. Not that we don't love all of our Patreon subscribers, but Lloyd Butler has a special place in my heart. Uncle Lloyd, pilot of the 369. Running in 16th position, has not lost anything, has not gained anything on his run either. Give that moment to thank all of our Patreon subscribers. In the Tier 1, we have Leslie Simpkins, Andrew Kenny, Mark Richards, Jack McCarthy, Simon Darch, and Richard Beaton. Speaking of Paul Sims, here he is. Mickey Phipps, Andrew Kesterton, Sam Marshall, Uncle Lloyd Butler, and Benedetto De Vezzo. Well, Felix Koziak has taken the lead. Get a replay of how that happened. There it is, a late send. And Osbaldeston unable to retort in kindness. We're only 20 minutes into this showdown, folks, and plenty of action has taken place. Couple changes for the lead so far, and I think it might happen again as Osbaldeston tries to find a way through Felix Koziak. The Mercedes, I just noticed that on the back of the 217. That's amazing. We don't know how many laps the drivers can do on fuel just yet, so we'll keep our eye on when the pit stop window begins to open, but, you know, expect around 25 minutes of fuel by my estimation. Normal GT3 cents are 55 minutes long. I'm thinking, yeah, that makes about sense. And there goes Osbaldeston with a crazy switch to the inside line. It's Stowe on Felix Koziak. Caught me sleeping at the wheel myself, as well as Felix. Now does he look for a move coming to the inside line here at Club? He does force the opportunity. A little bit of door banging, and a nose is missing now from the 24, but it instantly returns to his car. Great fair play racing, but the door was wide open for Noah Osbaldeston, and he licked the stamp and he sent it, and now he tries to find the opening here at the loop, but it's not working out well. Through entry, he loses ground. Oleg and James Piper still battling it out. Piper defensive, coming in through Brooklands. Karmanov has been trying to get through Piper for so long now. When is his patience going to boil over? The 64 falls in line for now. But again, patience can only last for so long. On board with Oleg Karmanov. Look back at Paul Sims, who's unfortunately blinking in and out of existence right now. Piper defends yet again on the run down the Wellington Straight into Brooklands. A little bit unnecessary if you ask me. '64 again on the attack to James Piper, Paul Sims, and Andreas Carlson. A four-way battle here right now. Lloyd Butler about 2.6 back from these gentlemen. Might be the move that Karmanov has been waiting for now. Around Piper, but they touch door to door. And that's going to lose a little bit of body work. I think that was Piper's body work coming off. Hopefully returning to his car. Let's check out Piper. Yeah, it did return back to his car, thank goodness. Now that James Piper doesn't have to battle with Oleg Karmanov anymore, sure he's a little bit more comfortable not having to defend every single corner, every single lap. Sim Racer Simon showing up and showing out in the Ferrari today. The number 44 has Lloyd Butler up the road. Piper in the 42, Paul Sims. Coming through, Maggots, Beckett's. First of the pit stops kick off. Clark and Wright come in on lap 15. There goes the rest of them. So the flurry of pit stops begin, folks. And that's probably just the way the fuel window worked out. Absolute keys to the race right here. Getting these pit stops right, hitting the limiter at the right time. Now, what are the drivers thinking that pit now is that they can split this one up into thirds, right? I would think. You're in the first 30 minutes, you're in the middle 30 minutes, then you're in the last 30 minutes. Only makes sense. Kodiak Osbaldeston into the pits. This brings alive pit lane again. Drivers getting fueled up first. Here we go. Oh! Leapfrog in the pits. Osbaldeston leapfrogs in the pits. No black flag for speeding. Holy Toledo. Osbaldeston is out here to fight for every single inch tonight. Again, Butler still battling with Curson. This time after the pit stop cycle, it's the other way around. Butler unable to do anything. He had a 101.52 in the lane, so about a second and a half slower there. And he had a 22.52 for pit lane time, so lost a little bit of ground there as well. Entire field making their pit stops now. One black flag being handed out. That'll be, it looks like, Andreas Carlson getting a black flag penalty. Clark challenged here by the 68 of Thomas Wright. Thomas trying to stitch it together. Top 10 looks good. Top 5, even better. Benedetto Diviso into the pits. Benedetto has a normal pit stop, gets his service, gets back out. Andreas Carlson serving his black flag penalty right now. Engine Gomez locked in arms again with Piper and Butler behind now. Christian and Butler, the other Butler. 35 advances one position in front of the 77. A big, well, it wasn't even a block. He just was there on the racing line. 35 puts up a block going down to the club, but it all works out well for the AMR. Phil Brown in the YouTube chat cheering on the Butler boys. Absolutely, Phil Brown. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for joining us. Really appreciate that love and support now. There goes Butler, late on the brakes, hip checks the 77. A little flashy of the headlights. I think he wasn't too keen about that one. Bigger worst case scenario, Butler has to give that position back at the end of the day, but no harm, no foul. Everybody makes it through alive. Someone we haven't talked about in a while. Whoa, no! There goes Richard Beaton as he's involved in an incident, I think, with the 998. Let's see what happened to Beaton here. Gotta go for a move there on the Sausage Dodgers car. Goes for the move, and that happens all on his own, actually. Looking back from Piper, Engine Gomez. Trying to go for a move. Butler goes defensive here. Excuse me, Piper goes defensive. I've got the Butler boys on my mind. Going for the optimum line coming through the loop. Check back in with the leaders here. As Felix Kotiak chases down Noah Osbadelsson. Chase still is on. Whoa! And all of a sudden, here comes the rain. Take a look at the weather. Surface mostly dry now. Track conditions are cloudy. Track temperature still 33 degrees, air temp 19. Looks like Richard Beaton, the first driver to make the pit stop call for wet weather tires. Butler might do the same. What does he have to lose? Everything to gain. Butler was still quick on that in lap, though. Side by side between Kotiak and Osbaldeston here and now. Osbaldeston goes deep and wide, carrying speed though, and a little touch from the 217 in the rear end of Osbaldeston. But again, all's fair in love and war as we pass the alternate pit road. They're going to continue side by side, coming through Woodcott into Cobb. Side by side is always dangerous here. Who's going to back out? It might have been Osbaldeston, yes, but he's still looking for the door. Osbaldeston to the inside, turns into the outside for Maggots, Beckett's, Chapel. Here we go, wheel to wheel, toe to toe, and that's blow for blow. Raining in this section of the track. Felix goes way too deep. Osbaldeston is there to pick up the pieces. And they both pass pit road. Both drivers seemingly comfortable with the wet conditions on the dry tires. Osbaldeston is through around the outside at Club. Don't expect to see any more fast laps come in. Checking on the weather again. Very lightly wet. Now, isn't that a surface condition? Not lightly wet. It is very lightly wet, folks. Good to know. Good to know. All the meanwhile, Kotiak chases down Osbaldeston, battle for the lead here and now. Let's check in with Simon Darsh, Sim Racer Simon, and Lloyd Butler. Big gaps starting to form, and drivers starting to come down pit road again. Osbaldeston carries a lot of speed, but he goes too deep. I think Felix has a chance here. Again, Osbaldeston looking for a little bit of real estate there, coming down and towards the technical section of Club, and gets what he needs to stay ahead. Sim Racer Simon still locked in arms with Louis Butler, but we gotta keep our eyes on this battle. Because I feel like it's going to pop off at any moment, such as now, as Felix closes down the gap dramatically on Osbaldeston, going down in towards Luffield. Kotiak getting the spray from Osbaldeston's rooster tail. Felix looks to the inside. Will he go for the move here? Osbaldeston relinquishes that line. Doesn't seem to get too worked up about it either. Whoa, and then we're going to go touch side by side, door to door between Kotiak and Osbaldeston, and it goes the way of Kotiak for the lead. Paul Sims chases down Jack McCarthy. Sausage Superman Jack driving the number 7 Mustang tonight. A little bit deep for the 7. Here comes McCarthy. It's not enough. Sims is through. We broached the halfway point of this one, folks. Check back in the wet portion of the track with Osbaldeston trying to find move there on the 217, and looks like he will find the line there. Felix again with a move, looking at it at Village, finds the daylight, a big wiggle from Osbaldeston, late on the brakes for the 24, mounts over the sausages, no dodging here tonight, through entry, it's gonna be wheel to wheel again, coming down the Wellington Straight, coming into Brooklands, who's it gonna belong to? Osbaldeston inside, outside line for the following corner. It's a long way around the outside at Luffield. Osbaldeston able to find and strike there. Woodcott is where no one backs out. Cops is what you got to worry about. as we broach the 49-minute mark. Things get quiet on the Western Front. Things get a little bit more damp on the racetrack. If the fuel looks like for Osbedelsted, now that we have some data. Lewis Butler in the chat saying my race is done. I got told to pit and it was bone dry. Oh man. Well, Lewis, do you want to come in for an interview, Brett, and talk about what's been going on throughout the race so far and talk to us about the conditions? Come up into the waiting room and I'll drag you in, buddy. Sim Racer Simon going over the curbs in his chase for Lloyd Butler. Holy Toledo. Has the 64 of Oleg Karmanov with him. So I think another one bites the dust as I think that's Benedetto De Vezzo out, unfortunately. Nope, he is out on track. No, he is out of the race. I apologize. Yes, he is. Track dries up a little bit. Sim Racer Simon, Oleg Karmanov, 64 chases down still. This has been a great battle all race long. The Karmanov has been in. He's down 5 positions right now, unfortunately, but he's been in a lot of good steep battles. And we have coming in with us, it's going to be Lewis Butler to talk to us about his race. Lewis Butler is sitting in pit lane, unfortunately. Lewis, what happened to your race, buddy? Hey, how you doing, buddy?
Austin. So me and Noah, we tried to stay out another lap by fuel saving, and that didn't really work out for me necessarily because I was sort of just like coasting. I was letting a few of the guys through to try and get that extra lap, and yeah, unfortunately the rain didn't come down until like 15-20 minutes later. So then we boxed for dries because there wasn't enough fuel in the tank to wait for the rain, and then on one of the laps on sector 3 when it started raining, it was like pouring it down proper. So then at the last second, Noah told me to pit, and I went into the pit lane, and it literally, like, I don't know if the cloud just went straight over sector 3 and then just gone again, but it literally stopped raining after like 20 seconds. So my race was basically done because I had to box back to dries, and then yeah, then I saw that I was nearly a lap down, so I just poured it back into the pits, and yeah, that was it, unfortunately.
I mean, you still had a chance. It would have been a risky move, but I mean, had the move worked out at the end, you know, and the wet tires paid out, you would have looked like a genius, right?
Yeah, it's just a gamble at the end of the day, you know. Obviously, like, Noah's obviously incredibly experienced, so, you know, got to go with his call, and unfortunately it didn't work out. But, yeah, it's just how it goes sometimes with the weather.
Yeah, unfortunately, that is the way of the road. Sometimes it goes, sometimes you don't. Now, is there anybody you'd like to shout out or anybody you'd like to thank before I let you go, Louis?
Just want to thank everybody that watches. I want to thank you and Andrew for obviously setting this whole thing up. I mean, it's incredibly, I don't know how to explain it. You guys have done well to set this up, and I think definitely deserve some credit, as you've also got an awful lot of sign-ups. Like, you've got 26 guys in here. Obviously, that's an incredible amount. So, yeah, I just want to say thank you for the obviously endurance tour as well. Obviously, you've got the new stuff coming up, so I just want to thank all you guys. You know, it wouldn't be possible to do all of these things without you guys. So, yeah, big thanks.
Thank you so much. I just want to give a quick correction before you go. I did nothing to prepare for this. This was all the admin team here at the Sausage Dodgers community. From setting up the server, the practice sessions, getting people together, organizing promos, things like that. I mean, it was a team of organization that came together. Andrew Kenny even said that before the stream went live. He said, you know, it wasn't just me. It was me telling people what to do and then them being able to get things done. So I just, again, want to back you up in that and saying, this was a team effort, and all the Sausage Dodgers members really stepped up to the plate when the call to action was presented to how do we kick this off, and why do we kick this off, and who's going to pay for it. Everybody stepped up to the plate.
Yeah, I mean, I want to say, you know, I thank you to everybody. I want to thank you for your commentating, you know, putting on the show each week. It's incredibly helpful. Also, I did forget to shout out the stewarding team as well. Obviously, taking one for the team, and obviously not racing tonight. I'm sure they'd much rather be out on track. But yeah, huge thanks to the guys, including Mark, you know, everybody. You know, it's a great team effort.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Louis. Wish you better luck in the GT3 and the Porsche Cup season coming up right around the corner. Is that something you hope to participate in?
100%. I've signed up for Porsche Cup. That should hopefully be one of my better ones for sure. GT3 as well. I love GT3, so yeah, I'll be participating in both, and hopefully can bring home some silverware in the near future.
And there might actually be some silverware on the horizon as well. No spoilers and no promises yet, but something we're cooking up behind the scenes.
That is what we love to hear. Right. Thank you, Saga, and yeah, thank you for commentating and everything, and yeah, have a good evening, sir.
Thanks for showing up, buddy. Take care. That was Louis Butler there. Unfortunately, out of this race now. Very unfortunate, as the pit stop call just didn't go his way. And he figured he was down and out and out of contention after the missed opportunity. Clark seems to open up the last pit stop window by the looks of it. Here's the battle between Darsh and Oleg Karmanov. It looks like Karmanov was actually helping Darsh there, giving a little bit of a push. Going down into Stowe. It doesn't look like he wanted to fight that too hard. So very interesting strategy calls, and there it is. Lloyd Butler makes the same strategy call there. As he comes down pit lane, and I wonder... No! Butler with a black flag penalty. Speeding in the pits. Oh no. Oh man, oh man. So that'll take Butler out of contention, who was running so well tonight. The other Butler So both butlers, if you're if oh man, just tragic, man. For both butlers to be out of this. If you're a Butler fan, drop an F in the YouTube chat, unfortunately. Just super sad there. Not what we pay to see at all. Here, though, this is what we pay to see. Simon Dar still battling with Oleg Karmanov. Just up the road, actually, the two AMGs of James Piper and Engine Donez continue their battle. It's Beckett's Chapel. Thomas Wright thinks that the pit window is open as well as he comes down into the lane. Take a look at the fuel on Kotiak. Starting to get a little bit low there. Oh, pit lane. As I was looking at the data, Felix Kotiak, Noah Osbadels, Jack McQuone, Christian Carpenter, and Andy Hudson all come down pit road. And the flurry of cars in the pit lane take off, and there's the Sausage Dodgers machine of Jack McCarthy coming out. Will Osbadelston get the jump again on Felix Kotiak? He does! What is that trick? Osbadelston every time nails that pit exit. Kotiak still locked in arms for the battle for the lead. 27 minutes remain in this battle. Osbadelston leads the battle for P1. Kotiak trails, but not by much. Christian Camberger loses a position to Mark Christian Coming in through Maggots, Beckett's Chapel, the Aston Martin is going to lead the AMG. On board with Campinger. Pushing Mark Kirsten forward and trying to find the top 5 tonight. What? What has happened to Felix Koziak? What has happened? Check out the lap times. Half a second slower on that last lap with a pit stop. But now the gap is the biggest we've ever seen it. 1.3 seconds. Now, is that something that you think that Felix can make up ground on, or is that lost at this point? Oleg Karmanov comes into the pits. That should be the last of the pit stop. Want to point out, Andreas Carlson, still, including that drive-through penalty, the 197, still in 14th place, not too shabby at the end of the day. Timeline there from Andreas Carlson. One of the ones that's going to look pretty good. Timeline here, just slow and steady from Sim Racer Simon. Steadily gaining ground. Lap after lap. Was up into P10. Now battling for P11 and 12. Has Paul Sims behind to keep him company. I'm sure he doesn't enjoy that too much. Simon Darsh losing ground to Paul Sims. There's the pedestrian bridge to the infield, right down the Wellington Straight. That might be done and dusted for Darsh as he loses another one. Jack McCarthy trying to get by the Audi of Oscar Corbett yet again. 998 Sausage Dodger. The Butcher. Just on the rear. He's gaining ground, actually, on that number 7. Oh, no, and the Mustang spins all on his own, and the 998 has to go off. The 24 gets by. That'll be Noah Osbaldeston. And we said traffic giveth, traffic taketh away. And thankfully, everybody makes it out with their lives. Jack McCarthy, though, does suffer from a black flag, and Corbett with a slowdown penalty for cutting the track. Closest battle on track is going to be between Paul Sims and Simon Darsh. Darsh is about 6/10 back. Kotiak, though, hold the phone. What is going on here? As we have a two-way fight in the final 20 minutes turn into a three-way fight in the final 20 minutes. And you know what that means, folks? It's time for my favorite word of the day. Yes, folks. Yes, indeed. It means that the threesome at the front potentially might be involved in a little menage a trois. Towards the final 5 minutes of the race, and boy, oh boy, am I here for it. Going into the final 5 minutes of this race, the drivers are going to unleash everything that they have available. Osbaldeston's been pushing as hard as he can all race long. Fighting with Felix Kotiak. But Jack McQuone, though, we have not talked about him all race long. Then a quiet but deadly killer. Jack is up one position tonight. This timeline, unfortunately, is not going to look good for Oleg Karmanov. Taking that drive-through penalty on the chin. Will Ewert, though, up 4 positions tonight. Up in P16, right up the road. And there is a late move by the 64. Will Ewert saw that one coming from a mile away. Left the door open and tries to go for a move for a switchback, but can't get that one planted through the loop and out of entry. It belongs to the 64. Lloyd Butler was at a high of P11. Unfortunately, Uncle Lloyd is back down into P15 right now. Oh, gotta check in with the battle for the lead, because not only is this becoming the closest battle on track, it is the lead battle within the final 15. Again, folks, if you like what you see and you want to get involved, make sure you scan that QR code in the bottom right-hand side of your screen. Get involved, join our Discord, and sign up for these amazing communities that we have. "15 minutes left on the clock. Here comes the leaders through on traffic. This traffic breeds opportunities, folks. Half a second, the current gap between the leaders, and it keeps coming down. It all comes down to this, folks. Half a second between the three. I cannot believe that after an hour and 17 minutes, we can throw a blanket over the top three drivers. Go 118 on the clock. Drivers cross the line. Lap time's coming down. Let's check out the head-to-head. It says the prediction is that Felix will catch in 2 laps. Well, he's already all over the rear end. I don't know how much closer he needs to be to make a move happen. That's about close enough as Felix Kotiak gives a little bit of a scare to Osmond Elston. seconds in closing. I am literally on the edge of my seat right now. Things are coming alive in the final 20 minutes. Can Osbaldeston keep up the pace and come home with the win for the inaugural Sausage Dodgers Racing Special Event? "26 drivers took the challenge tonight, ready to take on the historic battleground of Silverstone. From runway to racetrack, originally a World War II Royal Air Force bomber station, its triangular shape still reflects the bomber layout to this day. Nine minutes left on the clock. We're putting in 2-minute laps. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 5 more laps? Question mark. And they came in on lap 30. That'll put them on lap 45. Should be good on fuel. As we check the telemetry. Yeah, should be good on fuel. On board with Kotiak now. More battles brew in the final few minutes. Oleg Karmanov can't stop, won't stop here. As Oscar Corbett, the 998 Audi, dukes it out with him. Corbett being the butcher out here on the racetrack, literally slicing and dicing through the field this evening. Karmanov doing everything he can to stay ahead of the butcher here. Now, so is Lloyd Butler, who is able to snake his way by the 369. Able to do some work on the field. Tom's right, Matthew Clark. Christian Camper. 6, 7, 8. Come through Maggots and Beckett's. Clark into the pits, though. Maybe he didn't have enough fuel to make it to the end. Felix Kotiak, though, and McQuone don't have that issue. The issue the drivers are going to have tonight is going to be with the challenge at hand. Oscar Corbett trying to chop up the 369 of Lloyd Butler up the road. Here we go. It looks like he's going to pounce for a move. Not here at Stowe, though. Keeping an eye on the timing tower on the top left-hand side. McQuone loses out ground tremendously to Felix Kotiak, who seems to have lit the fuse and taken off like a rocket ship, just like that race start, and chases down Osbaldeston. They put in 2-minute .6s. McQuone's last lap was a 2:02.21, so not sure what happened there to McQuone, perhaps getting caught up in some traffic perchance. Look at those lap times, just nearly identical, time and time again. Whoa, there's a late move from Felix Kotiak into the rear end of Osbaldeston, but there's no contact, so no harm, no foul there. But he's looking for any opportunity. White flag should be in the air now when the leaders cross the line. He's trying to find any doing on this run. Thomas Wright locked in his battle right now with Christian Kambringer and Mark Kristen up ahead. There's a late move around the outside, looking for a move at the loop. He will find a move at the loop, going to the inside line. The McLaren makes a dive bomb look easy. 77 loses out another one to Christian Kambringer in the AMG, who finds P6 on the good. Gap is opened up for the lead as we get ready to take the white flag. No, and Felix Kotiak with a black flag penalty. I'm not seeing that come in from the stewards. And Felix's frustration is taken out. Checkered flag is out. Osbaldeston crosses the line in P1. Jack McQuone in third. And that's going to change things up. Andy Hudson is going to take third place now. Christian Camperger in fourth and Thomas Wright in fifth. By the look of things. Noah Osbaldeston doing some well-deserved celebrations after a hard-fought battle. Wow, oh wow, folks. Holy Toledo. As we wait for drivers to come down to their interview room, let's take a look at the results tonight. Noah Osbaldeston took the win in front of Jack McQuone. Andy Hudson in third. Hard charge going to Simon Jarsh. Most laps led going to Noah Osbaldeston. Fastest lap though, Felix Kotiak with the pole position award going his way also. Andy Hudson in third with Christian Camperger in fourth. Thomas Wright in fifth. Mark Kirsten in sixth. Engin Thonmez in seventh. Matthew Clark, James Piper, Paul Sims, Simon Darsh, Andreas Carlson, Felix Kotiak, Oleg Karmanov, Lloyd Butler, Oscar Corbett, Jack McCarthy, Will York, Richard Beaton, Marco Henderson, Sam Marshall, Benedetto DeVezzo, Lewis Butler, Lewis Fitchner, Anazuka Manel, and Bjorn King. Let's talk to Noah Osbaldeston here and now. Noah. What a tremendous race tonight. Dude, what? What were you drinking? What was in the Kool-Aid? What was in your Wheaties this morning? Because you had a hard-fought battle all night long with Felix Kotiak. And that was some of the best racing I've ever seen or had the pleasure of calling.
Yeah, like that was a phenomenal race from start to finish. I mean, the strategy was always up in air with this, and we were told that we would get rain as well. So the rate we knew the rain would come eventually, but how much would it? When would it come? How much would it be? And it kind of just from lap one it was chaos. I mean, I don't really know the ruling on the starts. I presumed we were just doing the SDR Enduro Tour rules, which is you have to go on the green light, which we all didn't. So I don't really know if that's going to be allowed. I mean, the live stewards didn't say anything, so I'm presuming it'd be allowed since pretty much the entire grid did it. And then just from lap one, Felix going crazy aggressive on the defending and then weaving into braking zones. It was really aggressive stuff. So just for me and Louis trying to navigate that while keeping the strategy best in mind and always playing the long game. And I just felt that Felix was always racing stint to stint rather than just lights to flag. So I think we definitely had the advantage on that side. But from the guys at Nova have done a fantastic job. I'm going to say it again, and I love this phrase, but Nova Motors Esports have made a fantastic setup once again. And yeah, I mean, we're always at the front in these series, especially with the open stuff. So come check us out on Instagram, Nova Motors Mango, Nova Motors 75 as well on Instagram, and yeah, come be a part of the team, come experience, what we do in the engineering of our setups behind the scenes. And yeah, it's sort of we're always at the front with these sort of things, and yeah, always shout out to get involved. But they've done a fantastic job in the behind the scenes, developing. We've had limited testing time for this series, due to like conflicts of time and things. But to be able to whack our setup in 17 minutes, which is what I joined with the practice, to give me and Louis the best chance we had from the start. I mean, I think I did a pretty decent job. But well done to Felix and Jack. I mean, we had a phenomenal race start to end. It was one of the most fun GT3 races. It was really aggressive, really rough, but I absolutely loved every single minute of it. So again, and then as well, huge thanks to SDR for putting on the show, and huge thanks to Sagar for streaming and an amazing broadcast. I know it always is. So yeah, a great watch back will be tonight.
Well, you answered every single one of my questions flawlessly, Noah. It's like we've done this a million times, right, man? Oh, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate you, and again, thank you very much for your support and you showing up with the crew that you have and manning the grid. It just helps out the community a tremendous amount to have competitors like yourself show up and show out. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you for participating. Thank you for dragging along your teammates as well. And we hope to see more Nova Motor Esports victories in the future.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Take care. Next up, we'll talk to Jack McQuone, who came home in P2. Now, Jack, you were a silent but deadly driver all night long. That 157, I'm unfortunate to say, didn't get a lot of screen time, but that means that you weren't involved in any like kerfuffles or drama. So how did it feel to have what seemed like a quiet race tonight?
Well, it's interesting you say that because those first few laps didn't feel clean and drama free. I'll tell you that. It was it's interesting being the new kid on the block. Didn't really know what to expect coming in, so I think I got what's the proper way? Like, I think I got the proper welcome coming in, I'll say.
Waterboarding. Yes.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, I think, the start of the race was pretty interesting. I think that it got a bit tight in the first few corners, and then everyone just trying to find their space. And then, unfortunately, I got on power a bit too early coming out of Maggots and Beckett's, got a nasty 2-second slowdown. And then got stuck in a bit of a train. And then I was just playing catch up for the rest of the day. And then I finally get back up to P1 and 2. And then I have a little moment. I think it's in P9. The rear just kind of snapped on me and I didn't want to fully lose it. So just tried to keep it. And yeah.
I mean, still a great race. And yeah, that cork in the bottle of Lewis Butler didn't last very long. That 35, it seemed like he was really backing up that entire pack and almost, helping out his teammate in some sense there, the Nova Motors Esports guys. So yes, you did get a little waterboarding there, as well as the Moo Machines being out there pretty thick tonight. I was hoping to talk to, I think that was Andy Hudson there in the 49 as well, driving one of those Moo Machines tonight.
Yeah, I felt like I'm the little kitty in the big pond. I'm stuck between these a set of cows and these esports guys. So yeah, quite interesting.
Yeah, it was quite an experience. And first of all, I want to say thank you very much for showing up, showing out, and supporting the Sausage Dodgers. But I want to ask you, is there anybody you'd like to shout out or anybody you'd like to thank on the podium tonight?
If I thank my left foot for not giving out on me quite too much. My mom, my dad, the usual.
Not the cat, the dog, any of that stuff?
No, the cat was actually annoying me through the race. He was running around on his wheel and it quite distracted me in a couple corners. So we'll be having words when we get back to the paddock.
No treats, no liver tonight. That's for sure.
Nope.
Thank you, Jack, for joining. Thank you very much supporting. Really appreciate it, sir. Have a great night.
No worries. Thank you, man.
And looking for Andy Hudson, who came home in third. I don't see him in the waiting room. So with that, we'll start to wrap things up, folks, and talk a little bit about some of the new things that are coming up on the horizon. First of all, this was a Sausage Dodgers Racing sponsored event, so big shout out and thanks to the Sausage Dodgers community for putting this one on, funding the prizes, getting us from green to checkered flag. Thank you so much for your guys' love and support. If you liked what you see, if you want to get involved, make sure you scan that QR code on the bottom right-hand side of your screen. It'll send you over to our SimGrid. It'll send you to our Discord and all of our other links as well. If you want to support the stream, if you want to support the community, scan that QR code on the screen. It goes directly towards prizes, broadcast fees, graphics, etc. Thank you so much for your guys' continued support, and thank you to our continued Patreon subscribers. If you want to get involved in the next thing that's up on the blocks for the Sausage Dodgers, the GT3 season is right around the corner. Coming up with a new sponsor this time around. We have a GT3 season coming up, not only for the Europeans, but for the American series also. So be on the lookout for that starting up very, very soon. The Porsche Cup Championship is right around the corner, sponsored by Barm Engines. So with that, we of course have to introduce none other than our sausage mascot. For Barm Engine Classic competitions, look no further. For rebuilding services, honing, tuning, dyno needs, Barm Engines is the place to go. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining. Thank you very much for staying tuned. It's been a pleasure to take you from green to checker flag for the inaugural special event from the Sausage Dodgers community. As always, folks, have a great night, and most importantly, make sure you stay safe out there. Bye-bye for now.
Rest.